Hi, it's Jon Mitchell, Mayor of New Bedford, and this is another installment of the Mayor's Weekly Update. So I wanted to talk about this week about an important investment in our city's future, quite literally an investment. It's the establishment of an office in downtown New Bedford by the wind developer Deepwater Wind. Now, you may have heard of Deepwater Wind in the news of late. They are the folks behind the brand new offshore wind site off of Block Island in Rhode Island, and that is a so-called demonstration site, 5 windmills, and they don't generate a ton of electricity, but what's really significant about it is that it is the first offshore wind farm in the United States. We've talked about it before. The offshore wind industry is big in Europe, and it's growing, and it's mature. It's been maturing for 25 years. It's brand new in the United States, and this is the first one. And now they're turning their eyes to New Bedford. And they set up shop here right in the downtown and made clear that they are here because they see New Bedford as the key to the industry on the East Coast in the years ahead. And they're headed up by Jeff Grabowski, who has done a fabulous job as CEO. He is a true industrial pioneer. And locally by Matt Morrissey, our former economic development director. And Matt certainly knows the terrain in New Bedford and is already off to a fast start in his new position. But it's significant for a couple of reasons. The first is that, well, actually a few reasons. One, that it's another reminder that this is a very real industry, because these are people with or a firm that has a tremendous capital backing. They have very deep pockets, and they're choosing to invest in New Bedford. This is the first private sector investment by the offshore wind industry in New Bedford. Everything else that's happened before has either come from state funds or federal funds or city funds. This is the first private sector investment. So people are putting their money in play here now, and that says something about the direction of the industry. The other thing that's really important to me is the nature of the activity that they will be doing and undertaking in their office. What's interesting to me is that, you know, as much as we've focused on what will happen in the port and perhaps in factories down the line, manufacturing components for the offshore wind industry, it's important for us not to be good just at the stuff on the water and in factories and doing the muscle work, but also to have the brain work here. By their investing in a front office in New Bedford means that there will be, we hope, the development of an industry cluster here that has every facet of the industry. That's what real cities have. When real cities have clusters, as we do with the fishing industry, it means that every part of that industry is there. It's the place to be. So we want to be, years out, the place to be for the offshore wind industry, just as we are for the fishing industry. And I believe strongly that those two industries can coexist successfully with one another here in the Port of New Bedford, as well as out at sea. And so we're just very pleased at the progress that's been made. This is an industry that will unfold not in weeks or months or even years, but in decades. But we're laying the groundwork now, and the work will be done over a long period of time. But you know, it's our hope that this will be a big part. Offshore wind will be a big part of our economic base in the long run, creating opportunity for our residents to make do for their families and pursue the American dream. The other thing I wanted to mention today is that the city is getting an award from the state for its work in the area of arts. Every 2 years, the state, the Mass Cultural Council awards a community out of the 351 in Massachusetts for an arts award for being a leader in the arts. And this is the second time they've done the award. The first time went to Boston. The second one now is going to New Bedford, and it's for good reason. This is this very much is an arts community, and proudly so. And I think we're only getting started in the area of arts. We have created recently the state's first arts fund, which will be funded out of the hotel tax receipts that we get. And that'll allow us to do more programming and bring more artists into the city and have more public art and to do more events and to have bigger shows and just to draw more people in and to allow New Bedford to be seen as a real center for the art. So that's really encouraging, and I think the award that we're getting is a real validation of our efforts and of the great work that the arts community is doing day in and day out in our city. This is the arts scene in New Bedford is a real asset, just like the port is, just like the downtown is, and it's something that we have to capitalize on, and we are. So with all that, there's lots of other stuff to talk about. I want to share those two things with you this week, but until next week, this has been the Mayor's Weekly Update.